Yo, yo, hey, Smackdown sucks. Hey, hey. Smackdown sucked! I'm joking, it wasn't that bad, other than what happened over the last two episodes. This was actually the most tolerable episode of SmackDown over from last night. Of course, we had our contract signing that was barely advertised over the episode. We opened with Edge calling out Daniel Bryan over, calling him that, I should be in the title match because I wrestled more in the last couple weeks. Then Edge just obliterated him over in the promo. He felt more authentic, more emotional. Daniel came earlier, uh, trying to evenly words until he's like, "Today, Junior." In the promo, he's still stumbling over his wording, sounding awkward. He's just forcibly over the conversation because he's gonna ruin another Mania. Daniel was barely over in the conversation, not because he's he's just a bland guy to put over in the stub. Like, I don't care if that's another roadblock for Daniel, and yet they're bringing this up like this is the final hurrah. Daniel Bryan needs this Mania. Why? It's just really annoying. So that was technically our opening segment. We also had, of course, our 8-man tag that wasn't that bad. It wasn't even that long. Involving, it's now called something Alpha Academy with Otis and Chad Gable tagging with the SmackDown Tag Team Champions Ziggler and Robert Roode against the Street Profits and Mysterio and Dominic. Everything was going decent. There was some average or good sleeper holds off Ziggler. They opened with some opening action before the entrance just got started, so it was action around the gate. There was, of course, that dumb spine buster by Triple H 2.0 off Robert Roode. There was barely any promos, so there's like anything off momentum off most of the tag team division because I think most of them sucks except I guess Gable and Otis because at least they've been having gimmicks to build up to their tag team, even associating. We came off a 619 off Dominic, hitting over Ziggler, frog splash off Montez Ford. Match was pretty alright. Street Profits pick up the victory. I guess that's going to issue off. They're probably going to have like a 4-way tag match for the SmackDown tag team titles at Fastlane. I guess that's what they're building upon because they have a piss poor tag division, to be honest, and I don't really care who even comes up with the victory. Next up, we of course had Cesaro against Murphy. And was building this over with a promo involving, they replayed over the swing. Rollins wearing over his suit, even though he's still, like, I understand he was back being a father, and I respect that. I'm sure you have free time out of being a father to go to the gym for like a few hours to bulk up a bit. Wearing the scrawny suit, he didn't change his voice, even though he literally got a woman pregnant. You suspect him to sound more mature. And he's still over this gimmick of underachieving, and now Murphy is trying to sneak his way back over with Rollins after the crappy storyline he had with Aaliyah, Dominic, and Ray over like most of the year from 2020. And then Cesaro takes short work. Just a couple of European uppercuts, he hit him with the giant swing with the sharpshooter. Rollins was about to finish. He was about to finish it with the sharpshooter until Rollins came in assaulting him, giving him a curb stomp, and about to finish him with his steel chair until people came in. This is like fast lane main event other than Brian versus Roman. I'm joking, but this is a fast lane match. I don't want to see this at Mania. I don't care about Cesaro having the super mega ultra push against Rollins. That like very little story other than calling him an underachiever. I just feel like this is a wrong direction for Cesaro. Give him back Zeb Coulter or something. We also had the KO show. We even had a segment involving Sami Zayn, like, oh, you've been screwed over too. And he had the camera guys and all this garbage. Kevin Owens was forced to get over the show. And Kevin was talking about who, costing each other the match and who was better. And if they can even coexist to get their tag title match against Nia Jackson. Shayna Baszler, and then they had this garbage segment, like this segment involving like this guy's a bona fide simp over all odds, just trying to chubby chase over Nia Jax after Sasha Banks slapped him the last week, and then they had this whole shopping segment over this sommelier guy dressing over with the freaking suits looking. Oh God, I do not want to rewatch that again, man. And then they just awkwardly transitioned over a match after Nia and Shayna just came in, and it ended with Tamina and Natalia face off against Bianca Belair and Banks in the tag team match. Decent momentum until the former sommelier Carmella, somehow she's just done with him already. She's not even implemented into the storyline now, because she was just a one-off person. She should be in this feud because they don't have enough women already in the women's division to begin with that needs more screen time. And Carmella was doing decent. She has a defining look. I think her entrance is interesting. I just feel like they're just devaluing this over to just focus on Nia Jax, Shayna, the stupid black midget, and Bianca Belair and Sasha Banks. There was a surprise roll up after the ref was distracted when Bianca was about to get the win, and then just Tamina comes with a surprise roll up for the win after a distraction of Reginald. So that's technically the tag match. Sasha Banks and Bianca then had a backstage segment where they argued over controlling Reginald and calling her a rookie. But that's about it. I'm not that engaged over most of the storyline involving Reginald, and it just doesn't feel that compelled because I don't know if Carmella Sasha's even interested in him like that. They never even implemented that over most of the story. I don't care. There's also the Intercontinental title opening match. Big E came replaying what happened over his injuries. He came looking a bit beaten up, but it was all fake. He came around. The only thing he didn't unwrap was the knee that was wrapped up. Being overly aggressive. Like the promo, he was mega aggressive, acting personal after giving Apollo all these opportunities in squat and falling short, getting pissed off, calling him over in the ring to kick his ass. That's what I like over Big E, and I think a lot more people want this. They don't want the silly Big E. They want the Big E that if he's getting screwed over, he's gonna kick his ass. I want to see that all the time. And Apollo didn't come out. Then it was an opening match for Corbin or Barista Corbin, stepfather looking ass Corbin, muffin top Corbin, and Sami Zayn. It was like, oh, I never got my shot. I'm gonna get my shot, and the first person to run into the ring would get their shot. Sami ran in first, and he immediately gets squabbled. There was an elevated DDT over in the apron, a cool sensitive flip over the powerbomb. The big ending came. There was decent selling over for Big E, feeling like he had the match short, but the match ended really shortly. It ended with a big ending. Apollo would come later, hitting him with the steel steps. Then with his new finishing move, Apollo coming in dominant. So it's looking like Apollo is trying to outthink Big E and try to utilize his injuries. I don't mind this because at least they're giving Apollo finally a personality. I don't mind this current feud over with Big E, and it's making the IC title feel a bit more important. So I respect that. I'm liking the direction. Also, if you don't care, sacrifices tonight. The Impact special. It's not a pay per view anymore. When they used to do that when they actually were successful. And I was talking with certain people, and they were thinking I'm being disrespectful. Dude, no one watches Impact anymore. 200,000. There's more people will watch their YouTube clips than actual show because they know their show is nothing to watch. I'm just being honest. Hope Moose wins though. Hope Moose wins. They have no a lack of superstars on the show. You lost Karrion Kross and Brian Cage, and possibly and Tessa Blanchard, and possibly Taya Valkyrie soon. So you guys are just gonna keep losing stars. That's depressing. There was also There was also Jey Uso constantly getting ridiculed over backstage, being called the lapdog. Roman didn't even want to see his cousin over his failure to beat Daniel Bryan in the steel cage match last week. So they had the contract signed that was barely even interviewed over most of the night. I just feel like Adam Pearce had nothing to do with this other than the last few weeks of him being involved in Roman Reigns feuds. And then he just does nothing other than the contract signing. He does the whole head of the table shtick that he's literally on the head of the table with the contract signing. He refuses to sign it until Daniel like mocks it from pride, like, "Oh, I would like to be the head of the table, and you're such a coward." Daniel has no way of being sarcastic or mocking to actually sound disrespectful. That's how it is. I have no idea why people even is that ecstatic over Daniel. He's been bland over the last coming weeks, already losing to Roman Reigns, and just repeatedly squashing over Jey Uso because he's not a main event threat. And yet that's the only practical obstacle he has, because we know that we're in a shortage of talent. So it ends with Roman signing over the contract after getting repeatedly mocked by Daniel Bryan. Jey Uso gets upset, asking for an enforcer to be in the match. Edge comes in earlier on, and next week we actually have a reason to watch, because Edge is going to be in action on free television next week. So at least we have a reason to watch next week to actually see Edge wrestle. So that's going to be big enough. I have no idea why Jay is just there to be squashed. Like, everybody was so excited because of the story. Now he's the lapdog. He's now getting degraded over it to just be the borderline jobber, to take the losses. They have no central equal, or at least second best to Roman. And I'm just not liking the direction over this. And people are trying to think they need a family faction over this. It would be nice, but they have Nia Jax, that's shit. They have Tamina, that's borderline undercard purgatory forever. They have no person that stands out over the Anoa'i family other than Jimmy Uso. I don't think even Jacob Fatu is related, so I'm just conflicted, bro. If Umago is still alive to this day, this could have been badass. But that's what the direction is, because you guys are some weirdos. It ended with everybody coming into a kerfuffle. There was brouhaha all over the damn ring. Everybody started fighting. The running knees, a spear. Jason started hitting people over in the corner. And then, after an altercation over the corner involving who wants a piece of Roman, Daniel hits Edge with a running knee. And I don't want Daniel to be in this title picture. We need a draw over this pay-per-view. And Daniel just forcibly being over the main event because he's an afterthought. It's just completely stupid. I don't care about you retiring and being a father. I'm just not that compelled. And him and people complaining about Roman being chucked over our throats. Uh, but the show was better than Raw. That's practically been the pattern over the last few years. So I don't know what's so surprising. Because the show's that consumable, gives us stuff that we can understand. Supposedly over all this gargling of all NXT fans, there's like, we had Damian Priest that was supposedly supposed to come to SmackDown. But only SmackDown, or only NXT call up, is literally got injured in their first night, and we have no other NXT talent. Cameron Grimes could have been a good mid card talent. We could get Karrion Kross to be on SmackDown. We're only earlier over in the year, and we're in a talent shortage. In over a semblance of creating stars, we're not doing that. I'm just not liking the direction that we're having over the calendar year. And people still want this brand split to continue for no apparent reason for this overrated mid card, bro. I'm just not liking it. There'll also be news later on in the night for, of course, the Andrade sudden release clause being completely canceled for no apparent reason other than, I guess, because the relationship with Charlotte. I understand completely. Andrade is already being like like buried along the way on WWE. Like, he hasn't been part of television for months because of what I explained in my Andrade Sucks video. That's, of course, getting a lot of comments over and over the recent news over Andrade because of current activities. And I'm proving to be right that this is causing him to even ask for his release, because he knows he's probably not good enough to be in WWE. I'm not trying to be rude, it's just being honest. And that's not an insult. That's just a fact of life. Sorry for that. He's on NXT, so I don't care. That's all I have for this video. Like, comment, subscribe. Thanks for watching.